So let's jump into wine
Yeah.
influencing, because I think
Yes.
I would love to hear what we could talk about your process, any advice you would give to somebody who wanted to get into
Hmm.
wine influencing. Now, like from my perspective, for me, it's different because being more of a starting off as a producer and then telling the story is very different than what you're doing. You're reaching out and getting people's stories pulled out of them. And what is the process you go for? What are you trying to achieve overall?
So one thing that I think would be nice to clarify, on our social media platforms, there is one part of the content which is curated, which we work with wineries, with producers, with other wine influencers, and we collect, curate content, and we promote their videos. So I would like to mention that we are not taking credit for their work. We are just trying to promote that. And there is another side, the content that we produce, which is more like educational wine videos, trying to reach beginners in the wine world, but also trying to bring some new ideas and knowledge for the professionals as well. And obviously, we do our podcast. We cut up clips and showcase the stories from all over the wine industry. So while curating and trying to bring light to winemakers and wineries, I think there are a few concepts, few ideas that we try to focus on. Uh, I think it's very important in the not just in the wine industry, in any industry where we are trying to target consumers, is the idea of sharing the stories. So if the people can connect, they see some human connection, they can see some processes behind the product. That's really where it clicks and people really start caring. I think you are the best example with the vaccines of the different styles of wine waxing. I think that really clicked with people. They get curious. They can look into the story. They can see the making of the product. They can appreciate it more because they can see the passion and the technique of doing it. So I think this is one of the most important parts in our communication, and as well the like visually intriguing processes, because winemaking is a very technical science or art or both. And there are lots of things, lots of processes that are going in the vineyard, in the winery, that are very surprising or very confusing for the general consumer. And I think by showing these processes, it can generate some intrigue, and they get interested and they start to appreciate wine more.
So yeah, seeing is believing. I agree with that. And there's not enough people showing the back of the house processes. I think it's there are a few that
Yeah.
do a really good job of it, but of the thousands, tens of thousands of wine producers out there, we should really have we should see a lot more of this stuff, because I do see that people find it very interesting. They want to see where
Yeah.
their product is from, and there's so much that goes on. Like you said, it's a very technical process. There's so much that goes on that you can say 10 times and somebody's not going to fully understand it. You show them once and they're like, "Oh, click."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge part of it. So um I completely agree with that. And from a being a so I get the goal, the objective. Is this a business for you, or is this a hobby?
I would say both. When we started, the main goal was just to. I was deeply into learning about wine, learning about regions, grape varieties, everything. I was a huge consumer of online content. I was watching lots of YouTube, and this idea of learning while teaching was very. I really like this idea to like show what you learn, because that's the most authentic. There is this saying, very wise saying, that in some cases you can a person who just learned a lesson is in a better position to teach it to the next person than a master who learned it 20 years ago, because he already forgot the difficulties which are in the process of acquiring that skill. It's more about skills, not about knowledge, but anyways, I decided to showcase the story of learning and discovering the wine industry. I was trying to visit wine regions, mostly in Europe, and to share the stories. And I thought that this would be a great combination to learn, to develop myself, and to try to reach others, because the wine industry is very, I think it could be more connected. Lots of wineries are very like isolated. They don't really want to share their recipe in apprentices, like
Yeah.
their ideas, their cuvées, their vineyard technologies that they use. So everybody is very secretive, and I think it would be a lot more enjoyable, and the industry would be more fun if we would communicate more and share the stories. So that's what we started to do, and obviously we are trying to build a business out of it. We are really at the beginning stages. We are working with getting our first sponsorships. So yeah, definitely we try to monetize it, not only for the sake of making money, but for to be able to grow it and to hire people to make the quality even better, to reach more people, to be able to produce more content. So yeah.
So the business model, because it sounds like this is something that started off as a passion. It's a hobby. You started doing it, and you're wanting to migrate this into a bigger platform to be able to sustain the expansion of it, and also
Yep.
your livelihood, which totally understandable. What
Thanks for watching this video. You can watch the full podcast episode by clicking here, or watch another interesting video by clicking here. Let's continue the discussion in the comment section, and see you in the next one.